I've always been like this. I can talk
Okay.
in front of y'all, but it's a little bit different, you know?
Can't turn your phone while live.
Knock it over.
Okay, now all of a sudden it's telling me I have to rotate my phone. I don't know what that's about.
What was you going to have to do upside down standing on my head?
I didn't have to do that yesterday.
Where are you rotating to?
Well, I don't know what it's doing. I thought I did it yesterday and it let me do it sideways like that,
Y'all
and
came to
now it won't. Amateur night.
Amateur Filming 101.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Come on.
Don't you break that. That's brand new
I
tripod.
know. And it won't let me turn it. Okay, maybe this is the one. There we go. Should be now.
Now your machine's not holding it.
Hey, we're live here trying to get set up. Sorry about the. Okay.
Are we actually live?
Yes, we're actually live.
You mean
Welcome to Marshall Grain. Yeah, this is being streamed live on Facebook right now. So thank you for coming this morning so that we actually have an audience to talk to. It's really hard to do this without an audience. So, and we appreciate you coming out, even though we're dealing with this coronavirus thing, which is why we're trying this live stream to begin with. Tammy is our speaker today, and she is going to be talking to you about how to grow succulents. And if I can get her to use the microphone, that would be great. But she doesn't want you to see her face. So, so you may have to look at me.
So good morning. Today we're going to talk about growing succulents. Succulents is a term for a lot of different plants. It's not just your sedums and Hoyas. It also includes your cactus, agave. It's anything that stores water in its body. So like our aloe vera is going to be a succulent. This is a oh man, that's dead.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's a dead plant now.
So there's lots of different.
Vera.
There's no.
Yeah, it says aloe vera on it.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. This one is. It's a little bitty baby piranha. They're called piranha aloes. So yeah, they're really cool. I get them in 1 gallons and they look different. They'll shoot up a stem and have red blossoms on them. They're really pretty. It'll be your crown of thorns also is in the succulent family. Peperomia. And you'll have both your indoor and your outdoor succulents. Your outdoor succulents, you want to make sure that they're getting direct sunlight and that they're in a very well-drained soil. Around here, we do not have a well-drained soil, so you'll have to do a lot of amending in the beds. You want to make sure you put it in a bed that is not getting hit by your sprinkler 2 and 3 times a week, because they don't have to be watered that often. Even in the outdoor setting, if you're getting rain once a week, then you don't need to be watering that bed. And that's going to include any of your agave, cactus, and we fell.
Time out. Okay, we apologize to those of you who are watching this live. We will eventually get this right. Yes.
This is a large learning curve.
Yes.
So any of your outdoor plants, you want to make sure that you really amend. I would amend with expanded shell. What did I tell you about going on me? I told you no.
All right.
Go back on you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I would use expanded shell, lots of organic matter. Your organic compost is really good. It helps really get that clay soil that most of us have to where it'll drain really well. And that's a key thing with any of our succulents, being cactus or agave. If you keep them too wet, that was funny. If you keep them too wet, they will start rotting. And as you can,
Too wet.
and don't get real close to it because it bites you. Hand me one of those.
One of these?
Nope, over one of the dead ones.
Oh, one of the dead ones.
I actually brought them in for a reason.
Okay.
As you can see, I've got overzealous waterers in the store. So these guys, they came in absolutely gorgeous. They overwatered them, they rotted. And we only need to be watering our succulents once a week, like I said, if not less. That would be the most that I would water any of your succulents. And you can see, yes. And you can see that these have died and they haven't been here 2 weeks yet. So.
One of the ways that I can decide whether I'm gonna water my succulents or not is if you just kind of squeeze the plant, if it feels nice and plump and
Firm to the touch.
firm, then it's got plenty of water. If it starts to feel like a deflated balloon, then you need to water it. But you can easily go with, I only water mine aloe like maybe once a month.
Exactly. It all depends on your house, on how much you run your air conditioner, how much you run your heater, which we know that with any of our other house plants is certain times a year you have to water more often, other times a year you don't. So you have to let your plant talk to you. And I think that we forget to do that. We get set in our routines and it's like, well, it's Wednesday, everybody's got to get it watered. And not everybody needs it. So when you are buying your succulents and you've picked out somebody that you want, if it's just one plant, like this one little 2-inch, you're going to want to repot him, but you're going to only want to repot him in something that's maybe 2 inches bigger. So if he's a 2-inch, you're going to go to a 4-inch pot. You're going to make sure that all of your pots have good draining holes because they have to drain. If you pick out something like this bowl that we have that doesn't have holes in it, which, you know, a little cactus or succulent garden would look really cute in it, make sure you take it home and you drill you some holes in the bottom of it. Most of the plastics, even your standard glazed pots, you can drill a hole in it. If you're going to drill a hole in a glazed pot, make sure that you use masking tape. Tape you across on it and in the inside, and then go through that middle. And if you'll go through that masking tape, it'll keep it from cracking. So you don't have to worry about it cracking in the bottom.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, you know me, I'm gotta go off into left field. Once you pick out your pot and your plant, you want to use a very porous potting soil. Cactus soil is probably going to be your best bet with the it's because it's already mixed for it. I have two different vendors with potting soil. Both of them are just as good as the other. once you get that, you're going to want to pot up your succulents. After you get your succulents in, I mean, you can make it look as plain or as cute as you want. If you use like one of the bigger bowls like this, you could put your succulents in and then use colorful rocks on the top of it, and just make it look a little more finished. Some people like using the succulents and doing fairy gardens, which is really, really cute. But just make sure that you have a really well-drained pot and that you use a really good soil. When you have it home, you want to make sure that you're putting it like either in the east or the west side of your house. That way it's getting plenty of sunlight. Your succulents are going to want at least 6 hours of sunlight on them. It doesn't have to be direct sunlight. It can be in a window that's getting lots of light through the window. I wouldn't put it in west facing because they'll burn, and I wouldn't put it in north facing just because during the winter they'll get too cold. Succulents like in the summertime to be between 70 and 80 degrees. During the winter months, they want to be between 50 and 60. During the winter months, if you will not water them as often, they will go into a dormancy. They'll just sit there and wait for you to actually start watering again. That's one of the ways that we make our Christmas cactus, spring cactus start blooming again, is you withhold its water for 6-8 weeks and then start watering again on a normal schedule and they'll bloom. I've got a cough. Sorry. In propagating most of your succulents, it's really easy. You can take this guy and take one of its leaves off, and they pop off pretty easy, pretty clean. Once you get this leaf popped off, you're going to let it sit and dry, and the new, or where it came off, will callus up. They'll kind of change colors to where they're not as pretty. And you know it's time to go ahead and lay it on top of your soil. Frosty's here.
Oh, good, Frosty.
You lay it on top of its soil. And it's going to sit there for 2-3 weeks that it's just laying there. You want to make sure you keep it a little moist. Don't overwater or anything like that. And you'll see little hair roots start growing. The leaf itself just keeps deteriorating. And it will get very brittle, dry, ugly. Once it does that, you take that little cutting there that you have, you take the parent leaf off, being very careful not to disturb the root structure, and then you plant your root structure and you'll get a whole new one. The other way of propagating them is through the shoots that they put off, like this little guy, he's got his little shoot. He will actually start putting roots on by himself. Once you start seeing roots come on, you can snip it off of the parent plant and then plant it. Your hens and chicks do that a lot. That they'll shoot off little babies and start growing.
Sorry.
I promise next time I won't let her play with the phone. And there you go again. You put me on the camera. It's the Laurel and Hardy show.
It is. God, really. I warned people ahead of time this was going to be an amateur show.
You can see even with our cactus on this one. Yeah. Ouch. No. So you can see how he's put off all of these cute little babies. Oh, here. See all these cute little babies here? You can actually take these babies off and lay them on top of the soil, and they'll start developing roots on the bottom of them. And cactus is one of the easiest things. People used to go out and mow them in the fields thinking that they could mow their cactus and it would die. and instead they would have like 500 more cactus. Yeah, because every piece that's cut or broke lays on the ground and reroots, and so you'll get more and more of them. And that's the same thing with these guys with that. Oh, look, one's falling off. Look. Be careful.
Don't hurt yourselves.
So this guy right here, she's propagating all by her little self. She broke off, and it's actually already started callousing a little bit. And so if this landed on the soil, it would start growing roots, and it would be another big plant like this for you, which it's kind of cool. These real fine hairs, if you don't wear gloves like me, they don't go into your fingers that much, you know.
But they prickle you for hours.
Yeah. Duct tape works wonders. You lay the duct tape over the area where you get them, mash it down really good, and then rip it off, and it'll pull all the little stickers out. I'm just going to give y'all all kinds of cool. The agave, any of the agave you'll see will shoot up pups on the sides of them. All of those pups can be cut off because after they've gotten this big, they have a root structure down there. You cut them off from the parent plant, you can take it and move it and put it somewhere else. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about?
Let's see.
Propagation.
Did we talk about sunlight?
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about watering.
Watering, temperature.
The temperature.
Talked about propagating.
Well, okay.
So maybe we can
Is
talk
there-
about some of these. What
I
these
can't.
are called.
I can tell you there's lots and lots and lots of succulents, and I don't really know all of them. But you can read.
On some of these. This is a.
I just let her try to figure out the name. Go ahead.
This is called a rubrotinctum. Pork and beans is the common name. Pork and beans. This is a very popular succulent. And as you can see, it grows more upright. But it will spread in a larger pot. It'll get a little bit wider too. So that's one that we have here. We also have a, let's see, this one is called Graptovaria, and the particular variety is called Fred Ives. And it's got a little bit of dead stuff on there, but that won't hurt it. And then what else have we got?
Hold this one. Hold this one.
Let's see, over here we also have this one. This one is called a Mondralsia. This is why we use common names. It's called a blue senecio. And this is a really pretty little one. Check this one out. Another more upright one. Let's see, let me put this on. Once again, I apologize for the amateurish presentation. Echeveria, and it's a Pearl von Nurnberg is the specific variety. And you can see it's got really cool lavender and pinkish tones in it. That's really pretty. I think so. Swap you.
Also.
This is another Echeveria, but it's a green one. And the varietal name is Haggai. No, this is not the common name. Haggai Ptolemaiensis. Okay, don't hold us to the pronunciation. And what else have we got back there? What are those dead ones called?
The dead ones?
Yeah.
Very sensitive to water.
Yes, very sensitive to water, which is why they passed away. But they are.
They're absolutely.
Here's one that's
they're absolutely
still alive.
gorgeous.
Yeah, we have a few that are still alive. Haywortai kiwi. Who comes up with these names?
I don't know.
Aeonium haywortai kiwi.
Yeah.
Here, we'll show you the
Pretty
word.
variegated one.
So if you're looking for it, this is how it's spelled. Yeah, common names are better.
Okay, these are
Okay,
sedums.
Yeah,
This
more
one
sedums.
is dragon's blood.
Dragon's blood. Ooh, this is pretty. It's got lots of little tiny ones on the ends here.
This one's called coral reef.
Coral reef sedum. This is a creeper. So this would make a good ground cover.
Yeah. This one is dew plant.
Okay. And dew plant, you get these beautiful flowers. Another good creeper, ground cover type sedum.
And
with,
you can find those
can
in
you see
yellows and
the flower on there? Is very pretty.
Now, these that you're looking at right now are outdoor. One of the other ones is lemon ball sedum. Everybody has been after the lemon ball. It forms into a actual ball and it's real pretty. I don't want to play. And it's a real pretty yellow and very, very hardy for our area. I haven't been able to get them ordered in yet, but I've got one growing out in the concrete. We had a little crack and he came back and absolutely gorgeous. And so, you know, just a little piece falling and you're going to have a whole new plant.
Called a lemon ball.
Lemon ball. It's very pretty. And I get those in 4-inch gallons. I get them in a couple of different sizes. But it's hard for me to even keep them in. I order them and people, it doesn't help that we have a landscape designer that truly loves them and she puts them in all the designs. So if I find them, she's stealing them. But yes, those work really, really well. We can take any questions that y'all happen to have if you want.
We love to answer questions.
Go ahead.
I have a strawberry pot that my strawberries do not grow well in, and I was hoping that maybe I could put some succulents in there and actually be able to use it.
You can.
Okay.
There's not a problem with it. I would just make sure that you're not overwatering it.
Okay.
And that might be why your strawberries do not like to grow well in them,
Okay.
is it's very hard to water those pockets
It is.
and to
yes.
get enough
I just
moisture
found that,
in
like,
there.
big pots,
Uh-huh.
flat is what they love that one.
And they love that. Yes, so I've made up pots for people that I either do succulents in it or I do herbs.
Okay.
I love using herbs in them too.
That's better than the succulents, you would think?
It's if you use a lot of herbs, it's really a good thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't take up a whole lot of room if you're in an apartment complex, something like that.
Okay.
So it works out well.
Okay.
The succulents work out just as well, and having it in that pot, you can bring it indoors, outdoors.
Yes,
It would be a lot easier to do. Just, you know, you have to look for one for
That'll go together.
that are more trailing for the bottom and then something really eye-catching for the top.
Which would be the lemon ball if I could find one.
Yes, yes.
Come back. Okay.
Now the succulents, when you're doing them outdoors, is it better to put them in partial sun, partial shade?
I like, because of our Texas sun,
Right, summer.
I really like to do morning sun up until 1, 2 o'clock to where it gets a little bit of reprieve from that really harsh sunlight. Some of them do not have to have it. Your agave's fine. But when you get to the really soft, fleshy ones, I would give it a little bit of shade in the afternoon.
I would think that the ladyfinger and the
Oh, these do
old
full
lady
sun.
cactus would do full sun.
You don't like the cactus part of it?
I like the stick. No, I like
I
the
had,
succulents.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about this one. We
That
didn't
guy.
talk about this one.
Oh, that's a peperomia.
Ah.
I had to think for a minute, but this is a peperomia, and this is the same way. You can take his leaf off. You can propagate him like that. He's just a larger variety of succulent. He would look real pretty standing out of the top of the pot.
Okay, yeah.
You know, something that's going to get bigger and a little bit of height out of the top of that strawberry pot. But did we answer your question? Yes, we did.
Yes, yes.
Other questions?
Any other questions? No? Well, I thank you for joining us today. Please be safe out there. You know, I really like the fact that all of y'all are still coming and visiting.
Yeah, we really appreciate
We
it.
do appreciate it, and we hope that this goes away quickly and we can get back to normal. I do have a lot of customers that like to hug, and we haven't been able to do that. But I love y'all all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to
And I'll
our
try to be
viewing
better.
audience for watching our live stream today. We really appreciate that. And our next class will be landscaping with edibles, and we'll be live streaming that one as well next weekend. So hope y'all come back for that. Thanks again.